Welcome back, fourth graders, to day 3 of our unit on text features and text structures. Also, I wanted to remind you that this is our mentor text for this unit. It's called Everything Weather, and it's been assigned to you in Epic Books. So if you go into Epic Books, you'll see the text. So just to remind you that our content objective is that you will be able to identify nonfiction text structures in your reading. Your language objective is that you will be able to write and discuss nonfiction text structures. So last time we met, we had you complete a KWL chart, which is a graphic organizer. And again, the graphic organizer, what it does is that it helps us stop and think before we jump right into our reading. So I want you to think about when you were creating your KWL chart, think about what you expected the text to be like. And now as you have been reading or as you read it, what is it actually like? Were you right about what you thought? And it is okay to revise your ideas as you go, because that's how we learn and that's how we gain more knowledge so we can be able to make those very useful connections from one text to another. So I wanted to also focus in on some text structure signal words. These are words that will give us clues as to what structure is being used by the author. So let's go ahead and watch this. All right, so the first text structure that we're watching in the video is description. Description text structure is when descriptive details are being used to describe a specific person, place, or thing, or idea. So here is an example of a descriptive text structure that we might find in a nonfiction text. A butterfly doesn't have teeth. Instead, it eats by using its proboscis, which is a tongue that works like a straw. Most butterflies feed on nectar from flowers, but some like rotting fruit and tree sap. All right, so it says read each of the following titles and make a prediction based on the titles. Which passage do you think will be organized as a description text structure? So making a predicting is making a guess. So using what we already know, our background knowledge, our schema of what a descriptive paragraph is, like the one we read on the butterfly. If we were to look at these titles, if somebody was to give us a list of titles and ask for us to choose one that we thought was organized as a descriptive text, which one would it be? Music genres of the 90s, The Wonders of Yellowstone Park, How to Make a Shadow Puppet. If you chose B, you're correct. The Wonders of Yellowstone Park, because we know that it's going to give us information on what they look like, maybe incorporating some photos, or maybe in their descriptive use of vocabulary. Also, the signal words or keywords or clues that will help us identify the text as a descriptive text structure are words such as, for instance, in addition, also, specifically. These let you know that what they're about to tell you is going to describe the topic. Now, as we already know, because we've already worked with problem and solution or conflict and resolution, is that this kind of text structure, it highlights a problem and then gives one or more solutions. And here's an example of what a problem and solution text structure or a paragraph organized as a problem and solution text structure. How do caterpillars adapt to survive? So right away, we know that if they have to survive, that's a challenge. So we already identified problem and solution. Many caterpillars rely on camouflage to avoid being seen. Some look like their backgrounds, whether a twig, leaf, or a flower. Others have bright colors to tell predators that they taste bad. Some caterpillars even have false legs or eyes to confuse predators. So right away, I know from the introductory sentence or my topic sentence is that caterpillars have to survive. So we know that there's a challenge or a problem, and the solution they're giving is that they camouflage. So they look like other things are in their surrounding, so predators get tricked. So again, if you were asked to make a prediction, a guess, an educated guess based on what you already know about the structure of problem and solution in a nonfiction text, which of these titles would you automatically identify or think of as a problem and solution? Music genres of the 90s, endangered animals of the Amazon, how to make a shadow puppet. Again, we're thinking about problem and solution. Because of that, I'm going to look at the title and I'm going to look at certain words that will give me a clue. And if you thought of B, you're correct. Endangered animals of the Amazon. And these are the signal words that would also give you a clue that you're dealing with or you're about to read a problem and solution text structure. And they are problem, issue, since, as a result, solution, or leads to. Now, the next text structure we're looking at is sequence or chronological. Sequence are in order. Okay, it's in chronological order or a sequence. So let me read the example that they're providing. When writing a thank you note, first express your appreciation for their thoughtfulness. Next, mention the present by name. Tell how much you like it or how you plan to use it in the future. Write in your best handwriting. Finally, read the message to check for any errors before sending it off. And again, this is an example of a sequence text structure. And as you can see, there's vocabulary there that lets us know it's telling you how to do something in order. And the vocabulary or transitional words are first, next, and finally. So in this instance, if we were going to make a prediction based on what we know about sequence, which of these three topics would lend itself to the text structure of sequence? Yes, it would be B, classroom manners. And like I mentioned, these are the words or these are the signal words for the sequence text structure. And you should be familiar with these because we use these in our persuasive writing.
Created using Powtoon.
All right. And so we're going to stop there with those text structures and signal words. Let's go on. All right. So to recap, text structures let us define what kind of way that the nonfiction text is organized. And the ones that we're going to be dealing with are main idea and details, problem and solution, chronological or sequencing, cause and effect, compare and contrast. We saw the video that showed us description, problem and solution, and sequencing. We haven't really targeted cause and effect and compare and contrast, but we will. So this graphic organizer here gives us a great idea or a great view of some of those keywords or signal words that we can use for each text structure. Main idea and details, again, this should be fresh in your memory because that's the last that we worked with, the last text structure we worked with. Main idea and details, and everyone should already know how to identify the main idea and details. So we're going to practice now. I'm going to show you this video, and then I want you to write down important information.
Is the pride of the Phoenix Zoo.
Well, I think they're beautiful.
Ian Gledhill, visiting from Canada, cannot take his eyes off the animals.
I was surprised how white they are. That's really striking.
It's hard to believe the Arabian oryx was almost extinct. Overhunting and a threatened habitat thinned the herds in the Middle East. So the Phoenix Zoo took 9 of the animals in to save them.
We established the world herd here back in the early 60s, where most of the animals from the world were brought here.
The climate and the terrain in the Sonoran Desert is very similar to the Arabian Peninsula, where they are from. The Arabian oryx has thrived here at the Phoenix Zoo. In the past 45 years, there have been 239 births. Many of the babies went to other zoos, wildlife preserves, and back to the Middle East. Dan Sabatis and a team of zoo vets went to Jordan to see how they were doing.
Oh, we found a lot of fat and happy oryx over there.
There are now more than 6,000 of the animals in the world, and that's good news.
I think that's excellent that zoos like this can play a role in the preservation of animals.
The species survival plan benefits everyone, not just the Phoenix Zoo. Diane Ryan, Fox 10 News.
Get my Fox Phoenix.
All right. So write down some important information, and then I want you to make a prediction as to what text structure was used in this short news clip.
Is the pride of the Phoenix Zoo.
Wow, thank that.
So let's think. What text structure was used? Was there more than one, or was it just one? If you wrote down problem and solution, you are correct. Right away, it talks about how the Arabian oryx were almost extinct. So the zoo took them in order to help them survive. So the reporter mentioned how the animals nearly went extinct from overhunting and habitat loss, and how the zoo was providing a solution. Some of the signal words: the problem is, the challenge is, to solve this. What I want you to do for your asynchronous time, you will find this slide in Canvas under places I read. And during your asynchronous time, continue to dig into nonfiction texts. Notice what is working for you and what isn't. After you have read, think about your reading life, both as a nonfiction and fiction reader. Make a chart of what you notice. So today, for your asynchronous time, I want you to reflect on what types of, where is it that you like to read? And to distinguish between fiction and nonfiction and the topics that you like. Again, you will find this graphic organizer in Canvas under places I read. And then just complete it and share it with your teacher. Have fun.